Hi there, and welcome to this gameplay video of Scéal, a game that's in development and soon to be released on iOS, Android, and Steam. My name is Sandro Malacco. I'm the creative director of the game, and with me in the video today is Aisling Duffy, one of the singers.
Hello.
So, in this video, we're going to talk for a couple of minutes about the setting of the game and the location and the story. The first thing I want to talk about is who you are. So you're going to play the role of a little ghost who has forgotten all her memories, who she was, how she died, and before she can move on into the afterlife and rest in peace, she's going to have to enter into this magical storybook and relive her lost memories and rediscover her identity in her past. So the first thing that happens when you go into the game, and you can sort of see it here, is that like her forgotten memories, the world is kind of rough and unfinished. So she has to go through the world and ink it out.
So, sorry, why do you have to paint the world?
Well, much like the way she doesn't have her memories, in the same way that her memories are forgotten, the pages of the story are incomplete. So one of the first things she has to do is to actually flesh out the detail of this world. You can see here it's kind of empty and lifeless. So when she goes through the world inking it out, she'll bring life to the world. Animals will appear, the villagers will wake up and come to life. And that's really important because you need to talk to these villagers to discover your past and figure out what happened to you. They're going to help you unravel your story. Now, the world itself is based in a magical storybook. Also, we took the style of a pop-up storybook. So you can see how all the different objects in the world, the houses, the trees, etc., they're all flat two-dimensional objects that are much like a three-dimensional pop-up book would use them. So that for us was quite important because it reinforces this idea that you're in a kind of fantasy world, that it's surreal. The next thing I want to talk about is also the location, because we chose to set the game in Carlingford, which is somewhere, Aisling, you know quite well.
Yeah, I love Carlingford. I really like that you chose it as a location. It's so picturesque. It's one of the most scenic villages in Ireland. The setting is amazing. You've got this huge backdrop of Slieve Foy and then the loch in the front. And then you've got the village in between the two, and the streets are beautiful. They're so medieval and small and intertwined. And you've got these historical buildings like the Hostel and King John's Abbey and the graveyard, and it's so historic.
That's really cool. And I think you touched on a lot of points there, actually, that we used as a reason for choosing Carlingford. The first one is that you have this beautiful mountain in the background, so you can see it up there with the tower on it. Now, the tower isn't there in real life, that's just a little bit of creative license we did. But it also has these nice landmarks. So, for example, here on the right we have the Mint. This is an old medieval building they actually used to use to create currency in it, gold coins, way back in the day. But you have a couple of other ones as well.
And that moss is actually you see that in Carlingford, in the buildings. It's a huge feature.
Well, that's taken from the real, from a reference shot where we actually did take photographs and sketched out these buildings. Now, here we have the Tossal Gate, which was one of the gates back when the village was walled off. And then we're coming up now to the graveyard, and you can see in the back there the old abbey. Again, a bit of creative license. It's not actually in that location in the real village, but we just thought it makes a really nice backdrop and setting to put it right here.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And you can see here how as you ink it out and flesh it out, the detail all grows in and fills in. Aside from that, then, the landmarks, the other thing that was really nice about the village is that the streets itself, because it's an old medieval village, the streets are quite narrow and winding. And from a game point of view, it's kind of nice to be able to have this feeling of a sort of a dense, tight-knit little village to explore. It really does create quite a contrast then when you go up, for example, now up into the woods above the village, where it has quite a different feel, and we've added in some weather effects, and there'll be also some wind here, some gameplay where you have to manage moving through a storm. And what this does for us, this setting, it's nice, is that you get a good bit of variety, or quite a different feeling when you go from that village into this forest, or then when you go from the forest, as we're going to do now in a moment, up into the mountain above it. Oh, the other way. So I'm just going to go up over here to the left, And you can see now you're getting up onto the mountaintop itself, where
It's a huge contrast to the village.
yeah, exactly. It's a lot more sparse and barren, and it creates quite a different feeling to what you would see in the other parts of the game. So that's basically what we're trying to achieve, you know, create a couple of different environments, a couple of different feelings and atmospheres. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and keep tuned for the next ones.
Thank you.